Hi, this is Ken Peters from NibiRunner.com. Today, we will be talking about the four horsemen of the apocalypse and its relationship with the four blood moons and how we decoded messages about both from recently appearing crop circles in the Netherlands. I will give you a quick summary of the Bible prophecy and let you decide yourself if we should be alarmed by the recently unfolded events. Some people may say nothing happened on the last blood moon day, so maybe nothing will happen. Honestly, I hope that is true. But haven't you noticed the sudden escalation of conflicts in the Middle East? The suicide bombs in Turkey? The Russian bombing in Syria? How about the super typhoon? I'm not wishing for bad things to happen. I just want to point out the danger to all. After I completed the series of videos on crop circles, blood moons, and the four horsemen, 3 more crop circles popped up in the same Netherlands area. Believe it or not, I saw hope in those 3 crop circles. Now click on the link at the screen to see the new illustration. So what is the four horsemen of the apocalypse? As described in the last book of the New Testament of the Bible, the book of Revelation, the revelation of St. John the Divine, chapter 6, verses 1 through 8, about a book in God's right hand that is sealed with 7 seals. The Lamb of God, or Lion of Jesus Christ, opens the first of the 7 seals, which summons 4 beasts that ride out on white, red, black, and pale horses. The 4 riders are seen as symbolizing conquest, war, famine, and death. The Christian apocalyptic vision is that the 4 horsemen are to set a divine apocalypse upon the world as harbingers of the last judgment. To say in plain and simple words, the arrival of the 4 horsemen is the beginning of the end. They were given power to kill by sword, famine, plague, and by the wild beast of the earth, as described in Revelation chapter 6, verses 7 through 8, New American Standard Bible. First horseman, conquest on the white horse. There are several interpretations. As conquest means victory, people find it hard to link victory with the bad news horse we are expecting. The evangelist Billy Graham introduced the idea that the white horse is actually the Antichrist, or a false prophet. I actually have a slightly different theory. Most of the misery in history came from false victories. Napoleon and Hitler wouldn't have tried to conquer the world if they had not tasted of sweet early victories. The supergerm wouldn't exist if we had not cured most of the known infectious diseases with antibiotics. Think of this pattern in every recent conflict, and you will see the wisdom in calling the first horseman conquest. And also remember, one side's victory is the other side's defeat. With the losing side trying to get even, the war and hatred can cause a fast spinning downward spiral. The rider of the second horse is often taken to represent war and the color red, as well as the rider's possession of a great sword suggest blood that is to be spilled. I need not tell you about the destruction of war. war never stops. Just as we thought the Cold War was over, we have the War on Terror. As we thought we finally got an upper hand on that, ISIS started their war of terror. And just when Ukraine was able to join NATO, Russia quickly invaded Ukraine and made us face the chilling reality that peace is fragile. Like a piece of paper, and it can be cut, torn, or shred in pieces. The third horseman riding on a black horse represents famine. The horseman carries a pair of balances or weighing scales, indicating the way that bread would have been weighed during a famine. Even if you missed our other videos about the world's 60 million refugees, maybe you have noticed the increasing food prices. Have you heard about the drought in Australia and America? The major sources of the world's food sources. How about the problem with population growth and the shortage of water? Also, do you know how many people in America today live on food stamps? I think the Black Horseman has been on the run for a while. We simply have not been paying attention. The fourth and final horseman is named Death, also known as the Pale Rider. The verse beginning, "They were given power over a fourth of the earth," is generally taken as referring to death and Hades. This is commonly interpreted as 25% of the world's population will perish as a result of the Pale Horseman's visit. Imagine the lawlessness and chaos after the war, infectious diseases, and famine. If you do not have a vivid imagination, try to find news clips of the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. So what is a blood moon? It is a total solar eclipse, and the red color is caused by a Rayleigh scattering of sunlight through the Earth's atmosphere. During a total eclipse, the Earth completely blocks the sunlight from reaching the surface of the moon. And because Earth's atmosphere refracts sunlight and indirectly lights up the moon's surface, the moon turns red. When we have 4 consecutive total lunar eclipses without partial or penumbral lunar eclipses in between, it is called a lunar tetrad. Tetrad is also mentioned in the Bible. In the book of Joel it states, "The sun will turn into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes." This phrase is mentioned again by St. Peter during Pentecost, as recorded in Acts. The blood moon also appears in the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verses 11 through 13. It states, "There was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood." As you can see in this illustration, as stated in Bible prophecy, the sun turned to black. The solar eclipse on March 20th, 2015, is the last part of the puzzle. It seems to fit the prophecy right on. However, The prophecy also predicted a great earthquake. So let's backtrack on the last several blood moons and see if there is any evidence of great earthquakes. So what does the four horsemen have to do with the four blood moons? I went back 60 plus years and analyzed the last four tetrad periods. And this chart is a quick summary of what I have found. The discovery or outbreak of new deadly diseases, major natural disasters, and major wars with lasting impact. Please note that although you may think the China Civil War in 1949 only killed 5 million, versus World War II that killed 66 million, World War II only lasted a few years, while Communist China killed 45 million between 1949 and 1969. And the 2003 Iraq War is still going on with huge impact in the Middle East and the rest of the world. The last several blood moons left a disastrous, bloody trail. The question is the worst still to come? The message in the crop circle showed us that we should hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I hope the disastrous quake is the one that already happened in Nepal. And I hope everyone listening to this message will love our beautiful planet and all the people around them. Starting 4/28/2015, many crop circles appeared in the Netherlands. This is a map which shows Hoven, Netherlands. Hoven in Dutch means need. I believe the site was chosen for these important messages because we all need to know. Let me first show you the locations of these crop circles. The first crop circle appeared on 4/28/15, then again on 5/7/15, then the two appeared at the same time on 5/19/2015. The fifth crop circle appeared on 6/5/15 and then on 6/15/15. A new crop circle showed a possible pole shift. The seventh crop circle showed up on 7/4/15. The eighth on 7/31/15. The last crop circle and the one we are discussing today appeared on 9/12/2015 with a spiral symbol representing rebirth. So what do they mean? Let's start with the 4/28 one. On the left, a spiral pattern with circles of different sizes are grouped in 4 groups. And on the right, you can see 5 planets lined up. The second from the right with a circle around it is identified as our Earth, and the circle is to show the moon's orbit. Once Earth is found, the one on the far right must be Mercury. Then there is an unknown object, followed by Venus, then our Earth, and the one on the right should be Mars. Technically, the last one can be Ceres, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, or Uranus. But I believe Mars is the most likely candidate. To understand the message, we must figure out not only what the dots mean, but also the gaps between the groups and the variable sizes represented. For that, I have my own theory. The spiral dots are lunar eclipses between the last inner planet's alignment of 5/2011 and the next inner planet's alignment on 5/2016. Please note, A. If we group the eclipses by its type, there are 2 total eclipses in 2011, 2 partial eclipses in 6/2012, and 4/2013, which is grouped with a penumbra in 11/12. Then 2 penumbra in 2013 are grouped together, followed by the 4 blood moons in 2014 to 2015. We all know 9/28/15 was the last of the 4 blood moons, and it was also a supermoon, which means it appeared to be much larger than a normal moon. That is the 11th dot, and the biggest dot, and right next to it, the 10th one happens to be quite small. There is a micromoon on 4/1/15, so the 4/4/15 blood moon must be smaller than normal. Now I want you to pay attention to the alignment that will start on 5/17/16 and end on 6/14/16. Not only are the inner planets aligned, but Ceres, Saturn, and Uranus are also in the alignment path during this time. Even if we pick the wrong planets from the lineup, chances are this is still the period to watch for. Another planet alignment appeared as a result of the crop circle on 5/7/15. This one showed an orbit surrounded by 2 big globes, with a 5 planets alignment, while Earth is assumed to be the second from the right, with Earth identified. The one on the left should be either Mercury or Venus, while the one next to Earth's right should be Mars. But it could be Ceres, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, or Uranus. I believe the big object on the far left is our Sun, while the one on the right is our Sun's twin, Nemesis. The small globe traveling and showing in the front and back of the orbit can either be the long-anticipated Nibiru, or it may be a significant near-Earth object, like a comet or an asteroid. So when is the next such planetary alignment? Actually on 5/27/2016, Mercury, Earth, Mars, Saturn, and Uranus will be aligned as shown on the 5/7/2015 crop circle. Since it also falls on the 4 inner planets alignment period, as shown on 4/28/2015, this may be the Doomsday. But because we are not 100% sure which 5 planets the 5/7/15 crop circle depicted, 5/27/16 is my best guess. Please note, this falls in the same dangerous time as was decoded in the 4/28/15 crop circle. But the Doomsday can also be 3/23/2016, because a similar alignment falls on the last lunar eclipse date. On 5/19/15, 2 crop circles appeared. One showed 2 circles overlapping, while the other showed the 2 really close, but not touching. The fact that both showed up at the same time is indicating there are 2 possible outcomes. Hit or miss. On the crop circle that appeared on 6/3/15, it showed 5 circles lined up, from small to big, then to small again. I believe each circle represents the time period of 1 month. And the area showed an object approaching, and there will be a 5-month period from when we can see the object approaching till it disappears. On 6/15/15, a puzzling crop circle appeared showing a big globe in the center with 5 smaller dots on each side. Instead of going from small to big and then big to small, it jumped from one side to the other. Since no celestial object can jump like that, I have to assume this means an upcoming pole shift. Then on 7/4/15, this symbol appeared. This is a symbol about God and God's power, or an angel, and judgment. I believe divine intervention is possible, and our survival depends on it. On 7/31/15, this circle appeared, and it looked like either an object shot through Earth's atmosphere or a planet flying on wings. My interpretation is that if we work together towards our mutual survival, have faith, and stop our self-serving hatred and conflicts, there's a chance that we can make it through this. Although we have to be prepared for the difficult time and challenges, disasters may be unavoidable. But we don't have to go down with them. On 9/12/15, these two symbols appeared side by side. The one on top is our Earth, as the circle around it is our moon. And the symbol next to it means rebirth. We may be given another chance, but we must change. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. And today is a gift. That is why we call it the present.